The World Health Organization has slammed what it calls Europe's unacceptably slow vaccine rollout. It warns of a worrying surge in cases as European countries scramble to contain third waves across the continent. The WHO says only 10% of Europe's total population have received one vaccine dose and 4% have received two. France became the latest country to impose new COVID restrictions. In Belgium, the infection rate keeps rising. Nearly 5,000 people on average are testing positive each day recently. Schools were closed a week before Easter vacation. Stuart Smith reports from Brussels.
Belgians are gearing up for another Easter holiday under COVID-19 restrictions. Unlike last year, people can travel domestically wherever they want, as long as they're back home by 10 p.m. That's made routes to Belgium's coast incredibly popular, but national train company SNCB fears it won't be able to cope with the boom in demand while seating capacity is restricted. And so an ultimatum to the government: lift the measures or restrict travel to the popular destinations by law. And if the government fails to decide, then the railway company may be forced to close the lines.
This conflict between freedom and safety was meant to be over by now. In February, Belgians were expecting restaurants and cafes would be open and children back at school.
But a slow vaccination campaign in the face of a resurgent virus means attempts to open up have stalled, and people are growing increasingly weary.
It would have been better if we closed everything for a month, like we did last year in March, instead of these tiny measures which are useless and end up extending the lockdown more than anything.
I think that, especially with this kind of weather, I think it's high time that the government starts relaxing the measures.
On Wednesday, a Brussels court shot down those rules, ordering the government to end all its coronavirus measures within a month or face a fine. The government's been using executive orders to close establishments, limit gatherings and prevent people leaving the country, but judges say the current legal basis isn't good enough. The Minister of Justice says rules will remain and he will appeal, while work continues on a new pandemic law, which should provide the necessary legal grounding. While Belgium's restrictions are ruled out of order, in neighbouring France they've only got stricter, as tight rules in the north are extended across the rest of the country.
We have decided to extend to all areas in mainland France the measures that were already in place in the 19 departments most affected by the epidemic. These new measures will apply from Sunday morning for 4 weeks. This choice to act on a national scale is explained by the fact that for the last 10 days or so, the epidemic has been spreading in nearly all of the country.
Non-essential shops must close, there'll be a 10-kilometre limit on non-essential travel, and pupils will not return to school after the break. That's on top of an existing countrywide 7 p.m. curfew. For France's 67 million residents, the long Easter weekend is on hold once again.